the I Love Pedigree show.
Oh, Ricky, look how beautiful our little boy is.
He sure is a cute little fella. He sure does get his brown hair from you, but look at those big blue eyes. Say, do you think he's going to inherit McGillicuddyitis? Now, Ricky, even if he does have McGillicuddyitis, we'll still love him just the same. Who knew there can be a gene for getting yourself into trouble? Well, if you're so worried about it, we'll just find out right now using a pedigree.
So first thing we want to do if we're going to find out little Ricky's phenotype or genotype for McGillicuddyitis, we need to establish which mode of inheritance this trait has. Now, it can either be sex-linked or it could be autosomal. So if the trait was passed by our X chromosome, it would be either X-linked dominant, which you can see these genotypes here have a big M in either of the X's in females and definitely in the X for male, or if the phenotype was recessive, you would need to have that small M, especially in females. Both X's need to be small in order to have a phenotype for McGillicuddyitis. If the trait was passed by the Y chromosome, which would be from male to male, you would see that big M here in the Y chromosome carry that trait. Now, if it had nothing to do with sex chromosomes, you would move to the autosomal chromosomes, which would be for all the other chromosomes in our body. So autosomal dominant genotypes would be right here, so at least need one big X to have that trait be carried out in the phenotype, or if it was recessive, it would be two small X's. Okay, now this is our family tree pedigree, and we're going to look at our generations to see what is Ricky's chance, or little Ricky's chance, of getting McGillicuddyitis. Now, from the pedigree, we can say that this trait is autosomal dominant.
We know these cannot be an X-linked trait or a Y-linked trait because looking here, we can see that a man will always pass his X chromosome to the girl. And that would mean that my dad would have to be a carrier of this trait in order to pass it down to me, which he's not, which means that it cannot be an X-linked trait. And then for Y-linked trait, that would mean that in order for little Ricky to have McGillicuddyitis, you would need to be positive for the trait and then pass on your Y chromosome to him. And that's how we know that it's definitely autosomal dominant.
Why would you look at that? Looks like little Ricky has McGillicuddyitis after all. That's my heterozygous boy.